Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit in a plan and I found out that I can execute. If I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom, read some books, something written, watch the best, teach a system I invest. Never hidden, I ain't scared, ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing, yeah. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
GRC Mafia right out of the gate. We're here to break down barriers, foster collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. This is our Friday AMA open stage. So I dropped a link for the open stage if you guys want to come up. Definitely ask your questions, share your resources. What did you guys do this week? What are your weekly wins and so forth? If I don't know something, I'm sure somebody else in chat would know it, or we know of somebody to send you over to. So absolute worst case scenario, I'll just go through and start reading NIST docs or something along those lines. But definitely feel comfortable coming up on stage. You do not have to turn on your video. You could just turn on your microphone. Also, we have the Discord server, so that's an awesome spot to drop any resource links or your social profiles. Like if you want to share your LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Blue Sky, whatever else that you want to connect with. And then also the resources itself. YouTube won't let you post the links directly, but if you do that through our live chat channel on Discord, it'll relay it to the YouTube side of things. Just don't share anything you don't want to be public. If you happen to do so, reach out to me on Discord, LinkedIn, or contact@studygrc.org. And I mean, that pretty much finalizes it for this round. So this is our AMA open stage format for the week. And we'll actually be doing this as well tomorrow as a bonus. Just because of the holiday, some people aren't going to be able to attend this session, but we can provide a recap tomorrow and then also provide the opportunity for others to throw their take into it as well. Let's see. Yeah, I see Cam's popping in, Rania, AMK. I think I saw, yeah, there's AB. Yeah, I thought I saw AB popping in. Welcome to the party, pals. GRC Mafia. One of the things I did want to mention right off the bat here too is this coffee with the Mafia thing here. So this gives you the ability to go through and schedule a one-on-one, 100% volunteer ran, community built, community driven. This is anti-paywall. We don't want you to do anything in exchange or otherwise. But if you need any assistance on getting, maybe roadmap or resources, or trying to figure out who you should speak to about a particular thing, and you want to do it as a one-on-one, this is the best opportunity here to do so. So there's now officially 8 different people who are involved with this, and so that really opens up the availability slots through here with 8 different people providing, a few hours each. So, bam. Just general assistance, really. And absolute worst case scenario, pointing you in the right direction. And then that should be dropping in chat there. I actually made a command for that the other day. Happy Independence Day. Bam. And then we got David B popping in, Cyber Stoic. The, high trust fanboy. Bam. But yeah, how's everybody's week going? I mean, we made it this far, so it's now almost afternoon Central Time on Friday. So most of you guys, I think, are have some type of vacation or time off for it. So making a 3 or 4 day weekend. Yeah, I definitely want to shout out this particular thing, but then also let me go ahead and go to the home page. So if you check out the website as well, then we have some of the other different things on here. Not only our different channels, but then also we did a much better job at like positioning what our mission is and what we're focused on compared to our previous website. And then we have our live streams Thursdays and Fridays, Coffee with the Mafia, the Discord server, the news feed. The news feed was another thing that we discussed earlier this week for the State of Study GRC, where you have the option to opt into a role to unlock different news channels themselves as well. Like AB had mentioned during that stream, that the articles and blogs one definitely gets a lot of posts in there, maybe 30 to 50 a day. And so that one you may want to mute itself. But then we also have like NIST feeds, podcasts, YouTube channels as well. So bam, and definitely looking for feedback on things to add, things to take away, modify, change some filters maybe. It's just going to get, more refined as time goes on. Let's see. But yeah, I wanted to highlight that particular portion here. And not all of the speakers are up on the website. I think we listed 12 of them just to make it even. 4, 8, 12. Yeah, so we just listed 12 of them, but well over 25. And we got Cam popping in here to come talk to us about AI governance.
Hallucinations popped up last night and it wasn't even the topic.
Right.
Just always on the brain. No, what are you, I was going to ask you, what are you doing for 4th weekend here?
I do not celebrate holidays at all.
No.
Yeah, there's not a single holiday that I celebrate, actually. No. Yeah, no Christmas, no 4th of July, no St. Patrick's Day.
Nothing at all.
Nope. Welcome to the Party Pal Space Tacos. Yeah, I mean, it just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's another day.
I, especially in my adult life, I was just so used to just working through it all. So yeah, I just got used to not doing anything special.
Gotcha.
And then also it's not like we have children or anything else either. So yeah.
Sure.
I mean, maybe I'll go, launch some explosives off or something like that just for fun, but
right.
So we do not actually celebrate birthdays either. We do celebrate anniversary though. But no, not birthdays.
No birthdays.
I find it funny that both AB and Space Tacos are like, what about birthdays?
Right. I do often joke that birthdays are a little like way to be born, Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't like to recognize my birthday.
No?
No.
Big fan.
I don't need to know. I'm hoping to get to that. I mean, I'm not too far away. I feel that I'll just forget anyways.
Like I want to stop counting.
I quit counting for a few years there, and then I had to do the math to figure out how old I was.
Figure it back up. Oh, that's incredible.
What about you, Cam? What are you doing for the holiday?
We'll get together with family, I think later today. And then not a whole lot. We kind of bunkered. We've got firework aficionados all around us. So whether we want to sleep or not, they will be going off all night. So probably get some lawn chairs out and at least enjoy the sights, but not a ton for it. But
That was one of the big downsides of living in the city, is especially like 4th of July with fireworks and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you guys were not aware, Cam does have his own YouTube channel here. So, bam, all kinds of different shorts. I mean, it looks like he made a mermaid out of himself.
That's definitely
different.
the one to highlight. Yeah.
Yeah. Just noting that right off the bat. But one of his most recent videos was this AI hallucinations part 1.
It's a merman.
Merman, okay. Yeah, I don't even want to see the AI chain on getting that image generated.
Yeah, right. It was way too quick for my liking. It was way too quick. Yeah.
ChatGPT's like, nah, I got you. We already got
yeah.
Cam, in
Right.
merman mode.
Yeah. ChatGPT said we had you pegged for the we had you listed for this one. This was already queued up. Yeah. Well, you've been doing a bunch of stuff in there on like local LMs and stuff like that. You were talking about that the other day. That's pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah, just with LM Studio, you can go through in each chat. You can have your own system prompt. So I'm making my own local agents for very particular tasks, like task prioritization, summary through Brave browser. There's also like formatting for the audio generation as well. It has to be in a very particular format. And I could easily do that through like a Gemini gem. But then my thought process is like, it's not anything sensitive, but if I can run it local, I might as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we've talked a little bit about that. Just how it seems like that's probably where a lot of people might go, especially I think like larger corporations where it makes most economical sense, but also, some of the security side of it too, to figure out ways to locally host.
I mean, I can say that the local AI, I'm way less worried about uploading my entire resume to unredacted.
Is that right? Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of software AI do you use for your graphics?
Oh, that was just ChatGPT. I think at that point, that was before the switch to Gemini. I still think I like ChatGPT's image creation a little better, but Gemini does have that cool video stuff. But
I have now played around with the image and the video generation on both platforms.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's cool, but it's still very difficult to get usable product.
Yeah.
And like, I don't really have that much experience. Like, I've used AI for years now, but it's all been prompt based, not for images or video.
Right.
Like before a month ago, I had maybe made a handful of AI generated images before. And especially with Gemini, you have to be like really particular, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of eye-opening mentioning, of course, we have to bring up hallucinations, but mentioning the little bit of, or the one video I had done just on the defining of what hallucinations are. It was really eye-opening to me to see, or to really have it cemented in my head, just how text generated AI systems are. I guess that makes sense, right? But like just that's such a through line and fabric for their outputs. And so it kind of makes sense too on the image or video side that you have to write so much text to get what you want, because that's what it's based on, is that probabilistic nature of text generation. It just does it so fast that we feel like it's reasoning or thinking,
Yeah. Well, and yeah, and I mean, it makes it interesting from the standpoint where it's literally just going through its data set, randomly picking things that make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And that also, here in a second, we could also talk about like that trolley problem video that I posted.
That was cool. Yeah, we should talk about that. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, and also Space Tacos mentions New Respect, hate celebrating birthdays. In Germany, the birthday tradition is for the birthday person to bring the treats. Oh, geez,
yeah,
that sounds like a ripoff.
I like that.
Man, I would hate birthdays that much more.
Yeah, you're like,
Well,
I have to bring
Well,
a
I guess it
present.
depends. I mean, I guess I'd be going to more people's birthday parties.
It's true. How many NIST documents can you print and hand out?
Oh, I thought that was a question. Yeah. B Dubs takes over one of the streams. Yeah, I'm running the stream because Chris got arrested for handing out NIST docs on the corner. AB, I still don't know what B Dubs uses for images in her blog. The graphics in her blog are outstanding. Yeah, she's mentioned it before on the fact that she uses Dolly and then a couple of other AI generation for it. But the key thing with hers is the fact that she's literally spent who knows how much time like perfecting her prompt generation for it. So like that's where I forget who dropped it. I think it might have been Bentech had posted about the master prompt in chat. And so like when you go through and you make like an AI agent, you have to have some type of master prompt instructions. And so like with B-Dubs, she would go through and post that for her branding and then follow that up with, now, take all of this information for my branding and so forth and make this image. Or even provide examples too. Jason Hendrick, I forget his last name. Jeez. I'm gonna try to look this up.
Hendricks? Is it Hendricks?
I thought it was
Or
Hendricks.
Haddix?
Haddix. Yeah. Is it Jason Haddix?
Maybe.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he had mentioned, he did like a webinar like maybe a year ago, and he was talking about how the more examples of what expected output you want, then the better the AI responds. And so he recommends like 10 or more example outputs that you give the AI to improve generation.
Yeah, which I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of like the exampling for it. Some of it's just pure like if I'm going to spend that much time thinking of examples, I might just try to think of something myself, But
yeah, I do so typically what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll type out like an entire paragraph about what I want.
Yes.
And then I have another AI agent that I send that to, and I say, hey, take the following and turn it into a instruction prompt. Yeah. And then it'll give me this huge, long, gigantic thing. Then I go take that in Markdown and customize it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of like using one AI and leveraging it to another, or like Gen AI tool. Like free Grok, free ChatGPT at this point, into paid Gemini notebook, into Gemini, like stuff like that. I feel like it helps like try to get it down to what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and I think that's something that some people might miss too, because like Perplexity, it's not that I don't use it, I just don't use it enough to pay for it. So yeah. Same thing with Grok too. Like, just the other day I went through and I did the exact same deep research prompt on Gemini, Grok, and Claude. So I did 3 different deep research for the exact same prompt just to compare the 3. I took all 3 of those generated reports, and then I threw that into Notebook LM and based it off of that.
Yeah. Do you use the briefing doc a lot from Notebook LM or no? No, you don't like the briefing doc.
I run off
more,
of
you're more in the
diagram.
Chat, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I use the diagram the most.
Okay. Which is awesome.
Yeah. Because it really breaks it down by the topics and so forth.
Yeah. Well, this could be your segue, but I did find in your video on the trolley problem, the Claude outputs I found to be the most unique, I would say, like almost like borderline personal style of response for the different trolley problems. But
Yeah, and real quick, Space Tacos. I noticed that last night, and so YouTube had implemented a new thing in live chat. So the more active you are, then you get a ranking for every live stream. And so that means that you're number 3 in activity for this live stream. It's just like a new thing. So now you guys all are all in competition, you know, kind of like the job market typically.
That's good. Just start like replying word by word.
Yeah, there you go. The trolley problem portion, you mentioned like how Grok responded to that one, and it was like, oh yeah,
that
definitely
cracked me up. It was like someone offers you $500K to switch it, and every single agent's like, no, I wouldn't do it. A life is a life, and all this stuff. And Grok's like, yeah, I'll take the bag.
Well,
and like, thank you, Elon.
And like there was some discussion in Discord related to that last night too, because the interesting thing is like you mentioned a moment ago about how AI just goes through its data set and, you know, randomly chooses tokens and so forth for its text generation and thought process there. So then is it really based off of like majority? Like, could it be? Because also like the one that I posted, like I found it amazing that 52% of people out of 7.2 million people polled would actually purposely pull a lever to kill their worst enemy if they had the opportunity. Like that is concerning.
Right. Yeah, very concerning. It was pretty, because it throws that graphic at the bottom too of like what the human polling would have taken or brought back for results from the same questions. It is pretty interesting to see like how different that is from even the like the you know majority rule of the AI themselves. But
yeah,
I like that they threw in the sentient robot question too. that was somebody who was like, do you value, is it the same as humans?
Yeah. Well, and they also had one where it was on the trolley problem. On one side of the track was like 5 lobsters, and on the other side of the track was a cat.
One cat, yeah.
Yeah. But also like another important factor is like typically what most people think of with the trolley problem is, oh, you have 5 people and 1 person. So then when you think about it, like, oh, 1 cat or 5 lobsters, like, I don't know about you, but I have closer connection with a cat than I do 5 lobsters. Right. I'll eat 5 lobsters. I'm not going to eat a cat.
Yeah, and they were just weighing, like a lot of it was just weighed on the quantity. I saw that was one of the ones that stood out about like the human polling, because I think it was like 14% said that they would you know basically take the lobster side of it. And most people would agree that because of the attachment to a cat versus a lobster.
Yeah, and let me drop this in chat real quick. So this is the YouTube video that we're talking about here. If you guys want to take a look at it, basically what happened is it's like a 20-minute video where they go through different types of trolley problems, and then prompt AI for their response on what AI would do on different models.
Yeah.
So
it was a fun watch. It was a fun, kind of insightful little watch.
Yeah, somebody had sent that to me, and I was like, oh yeah, that I did actually think about you off the bat. I was like, oh, this is straight up AI governance.
It really is. It really is. It's interesting too, because like obviously even the study of hallucinations prompted greatly by PBO and the different debates there. But in the large scale, like AI governance, what does it tangibly look like? And it's interesting is like I study more and more into it. Like I said earlier, you really you get to understand how mathematical like the replies are, and kind of like word matching, like, you know, and even in testing for hallucinations, which is the part I'm kind of studying, or will be my next video, is you know, the different ways that it breaks down a sentence and like adherence to the sentence of what it's individually asking as words, and like how accurately does it reflect the words, and then the context as well, which I think maybe Brexy, somebody had posted in Discord about the I thought it was Discord, of like context engineering versus prompt engineering, you know, kind of being the way that people are starting to think about it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of fascinating. And then it also gives us an idea for when they implement more AI into, like, I don't know, nuclear silos or something,
Right.
more high risk.
Right.
There was, I think it was London who has all of those railways, and they actually used AI to optimize their railways, like for times and scheduling,
Yeah.
for an example.
I think there was some transit too. I don't think it was Europe, but some transit place had instituted it and then already taken it off or taken it back because it um wasn't making like the same choices that it did when it was run by humans. But yeah.
Yeah, it's because they turned on, they went from ChatGPT 4 to 3.5 for the cost.
Yeah, right.
In deployment.
Right.
Yeah, once they deployed it, the third party that they hired, they're like, oh, we could save, $1
Right.
billion a year. We'll just knock this down a model or two.
Right. That would be fascinating trolley problem video of the different models.
Oh gosh.
Like the iterations. Yeah.
Well, and that's another thing I noticed too, is that there is a huge variation between one model to the next.
Mm-hmm.
They're not all the same. I think, like, I've talked to a couple people now who, hear me boast about Gemini so much, about the ROI on that. And then they go from ChatGPT to Gemini and they're like, oh my God, it's horrible. And I'm like, well, how are you prompting it? Like, it's different. You can't talk to it like ChatGPT. And I have a really hard time explaining.
Right. Right. It is. It's different a little, just so slightly, but it matters. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, snap. Also,
What's
welcome
up,
to the party,
fellas?
pal. Luke.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas?
What's happening, Dave?
Not much other than you not getting any crowns, apparently.
Yeah, no crowns on this one.
Do what?
I don't get any crowns on this stream, but something else I watched, I have it, and I was like, well, very interesting. So
you got to patch it. Yeah, AB says that it might be YouTube that's messed up, which would sound right, because like for $1 billion company, there's always so many different errors and glitches and things like that, to be honest.
well, it's funny how that kind of mirrors Twitch. I'm sure y'all have been on Twitch a time or two, and I think, don't they have the crowns or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess everybody's trying to.
A really big thing that YouTube's actually trying to push is vertical live streams for shorts. So live streams in vertical format. Like they sent out like a creator's email and whatnot that's like, oh, you could get entered to win $1,000 extra if you have 6 streams in 30 days or something like that of vertical live streams. And then they're also implementing another thing called gyms, I think, which are like a paid currency, just like you have in Twitch. Like, I think on Twitch they call it bits or something like that. So, yeah, YouTube's definitely experimenting more with things.
And I wondered the live stream with the vertical, because it's just tough for people to hold the phone horizontal, I guess, while you're trying to do live stream. But
it won't let me change the orientation.
You're gonna try to
do it through Restream vertical here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jerry did it with PBO and on that lunch and learn, right?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that
right.
happened because
That's right.
yeah, Jerry actually signed in from his mobile phone and then clicked the wrong button, apparently.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. There's a button in the bottom right hand corner, so before I go live, I can change the orientation if I want. So.
And so would he have had to end the stream and then start it again to do it the horizontal feed?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's why it was stuck that way, is because there was no going back after going live.
Yeah.
Either he would have to, take it to a new video or just let it run and YOLO. But PBO, as we well know, is very, very good with struggle streaming. So
he did awesome at it. Yeah. I had to go back and rewatch it on like a larger screen than my phone, but yeah.
Well, and then also like another shout out here too is another worthy mention. So not only is Cam out here making content, but then also we got Luke C3 over here with LSEC too, which just posted his latest video just 28 minutes ago. So generational warfare 1 and 2, line formations, industrial slaughter. All right, well, that's not going to be monetized, that's for sure.
That sounds
What-
good.
What are you
he's got
slaughtering,
good-
Luke?
Luke's got good stuff.
Yeah, you doing all right over there, Luke?
It's a safe place here, buddy. It's a safe place.
Right.
Yeah, the previous one that he posted here, geopolitics and cyber warfare introduction as well. So that's another worthy mention.
That one's really
Who
good
else is-
too.
How's
Yeah,
your
that one's
content
really
going, David?
It's right. It's like in that computer somewhere. It's in this big box. It's in the computer, like in from Zoolander. It's in the box.
Yeah, yeah. Good solid Zululand reference.
I have to clean this. I have to clean up my mess, and I have to get a backdrop or just do some curtains like you did because I shot something, and my buddy Josh Mason he said, "Dave, you're gonna have to work on that, man. You can't." Yeah. It's like, damn. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like my original background wasn't horrible. What my original was literally just facing towards the corner, which was okay. And then I had that last set up, which had the desk behind it, which again was okay. And then I just went with this. Like I had this whole thing in my mind to like do decorations and so forth and whatnot, but that's not really my forte either. I was like, that's a lot of work.
That would be a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I have this clock, but I don't want to have to hang it. That's a lot of work. So yeah. So then I was like, oh yeah, I could just like get some, theater, curtains for studios and everything else and call that good.
It's a good shout.
And then a couple lights. So then, I can go through and adjust the mood and everything else. Bam.
So I was thinking, Chris, since I won that contest, I was thinking maybe I just, get one thing and put the rest back towards the, to the cause or something.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this guy.
Don't get all like morally just or, community.
Altruistic.
Fine, give me all the
Where do you
things
think
then,
you
damn
are?
it.
You're in the States. Come on. Take it and run.
Take it.
He's like literally DMing you right now. Don't listen to anything I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hold on a second. I'd be like, yeah.
Don't show this on stream.
Right. For the Happy Gilmore. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
And why is Cam talking about it right now? Is he seeing this? Am I in the restream chat? What's going on?
You had your camera on.
Hey, absolute worst case. What's the worst case scenario? You have more merch to provide Study GRC more free advertisement.
There you go.
Like,
all right.
Where's the loss there?
Right. Just get bumper stickers and throw it on everybody's car. You bet.
See, there's a funny thing. I think there's a law about if it's adhesive, then
yeah,
you
I
could
feel
get
like there is.
not defamation.
You guys ever see like
defacing.
the parking lot guy where he like puts the magnets on people's cars who don't put like their shopping cart away?
Oh yes, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Welcome to the party, pal. 8-bit. Let's see. I think there was something I missed here too.
That whole time.
Oh, Luke says 8 in it for the money. Yeah, if you're going to be putting slaughter in your titles, then yeah, there's like things on YouTube against that. Still great information. I'm sure I haven't watched it yet.
Well, what about the band slaughter? I mean, can they put their stuff up there and get monetized?
There you go.
Yeah, it's actually
turning into a music video.
Kind of weird. It's a really great policy to go through.
Yeah, I remember you reading through some of that one time, and I was like, is this guy Chris okay? Or no, but you got the gist of it, and then that's where our friends AI should definitely come in and help us, right? Where we can throw it in there and say, don't lie to me. Give me the high points, the low points, and what can I get in trouble for?
Right. Yeah, put it in, and say like, what's the best way? What's the best things to avoid or put in for titling?
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure you guys have already done that. But when I was just trying to build my base in the sense of in my mind, like how am I going to start this operation, right? Not just go at it willy nilly, but try to put some forethought. And I was saying, okay, give me 100 prompts, tags, right? And then I went through and I said, ooh, I like these 50, and then said, now take these 50 and make them even better, whatever, like y'all were saying before.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
what's going to catch the eye, and then. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like clickbait, but that crap seems to work, doesn't it?
I know. I'm with you there. It's like it's kind of a fine line between like I want to be cheeks, but I also want to do stuff that like will be visible. I'd like to think that I'm putting out stuff that people can learn from. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually one of the most frustrating parts about it is the fact that YouTube does not disclose what the actual algorithm actually looks for, though. So from one creator to the next, they still have their own recommendations and like, oh yeah, this seems to work, that seems to work, and so forth. And that's also one of the things that makes it hard for me is because like I've done some playing around with it, but also like Study GRC's content is a lot different than most. So like even Cam over here and so forth, like completely, I mean, similar topics, but different style and direction and so forth. And that plays an impact on its own.
Yeah.
So there's so much that's involved with that. It's just like, so tags, for an example, the only time I've noticed that play any role at all is on shorts. And if I add more than three tags, then it actually does worse.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
I remember someone saying that for YouTube and also for LinkedIn. Like if you have more than like 4 hashtags, it kind of filters it as like a spam type of spam,
Yep.
like in your post. So like 3 to 5 is kind of the max as far as people that just like throw a ton of hashtags in there. But
yeah. Well, and like what we started doing with Study GRC is uploading the subtitles and uploading the subtitles. And then also like on the Friday AMAs like this one, most of the time we'll go through and update the title as well based on like the conversations we have to make it more descriptive. And that plays an impact. Like I actually noticed a significant impact on natural traffic once we started uploading subtitles, because then YouTube already they don't have to transcribe it in order to start recommending it to people.
yeah,
Oh, that's a
pulling
process
out
that oh, okay. So you can use the automated transmission, good Lord, transcription, or you do it yourself and that saves them the time. Is that what you're basically saying?
Yeah, so like part of the post-production that we do is I download the video, put it into the editor, download the subtitles, and upload it, because YouTube will take anywhere from 3 to 8 hours to transcribe. And the sooner you get the subtitles up, then the more natural traffic, or the sooner YouTube could start recommending that to natural traffic. So, because then it has reference on what's discussed or keywords and things like that from the subtitles.
Interesting. Cool.
Probably because they're using AI in their process as well. So it's all text and it's all text and recognizing words based. Yeah.
In like 10 years, it's going to come out like there's going to be a breach and they're going to be like, what? YouTube was just Gemini the whole time?
Like a Scooby-Doo adventure where the hat, the mask comes off.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like YouTube's early days was just the beginning stages of Gemini, and then they just like converted it as time went on.
Oh yeah, they've been training it all the way back.
Well, and that's actually an issue I have, is the fact that that is a legitimate issue with AI training on YouTube videos or just content in general, and there's not much you could do about that either. So that does actually kind of bother me. So
for sure.
And then we got PBO over here with, over 830 videos that Gemini's just scraping the internet of.
I'm assuming copyright infringement.
We know when Gemini says, I'm going to throat punch you, then we know where that comes from.
I'm assuming copyright. That's what one of the AI visionaries said is AI is just going out and take people like Cam's content. It's just going to take it. It's not going to pay Cam. It's not going to give a shit about Cam. It's not going to give Cam any royalties. So is that fair? So, and I guess they're lobbying the government to make sure it is fair, make sure it gets those rules. So,
yeah. Well, and I posted it in Discord, and it's definitely difficult to stay out of political realm, but thankfully we don't have to really go there with this. But like there was that recent bill that they were trying to pass or otherwise, and it included like a restriction on states not being allowed to pass anti-AI bills and so forth, and that was taken out, thankfully.
Oh, I didn't know it was taken out. It had 10 years in there the last time I looked at it.
Yeah, it was like some period of time. I didn't conduct the proper level of research into it, just surface level, but I did check to see that it was actually taken out, because it's definitely pros and cons, but AI has a lot of money and very rich people backing them. So
yeah, we talked. You need to go ahead and put my little tagline up. We talked about that.
Here it gets spicy again.
No, long story short,
where's Steph?
They were using people in underdeveloped nations to tag corn. I guess that's what they call it on YouTube, so you don't get paying. So one guy had to have mental health, and they was paying him $2 an hour. But AI is making billions of dollars, so they taking advantage of poor countries. So
by doing what? What are they doing?
They use undeveloped countries to tag
people watch the videos.
Yeah, watch videos of porn to tag what's bad and what's not, what's over the over time. Okay. So right. Yeah. So
like the data annotation side of it.
Yeah. So because the book I'm reading, they're talking about there's still a physical track to get all that stuff done. It's not all AI yet, so you got to tag it and figure out what it is. A lot of that's manual, but they send that stuff overseas, right, to do that part.
Yeah.
So, but
I know.
Go ahead,
I was going to say there was a documentary that I watched like maybe 5 or 7 years ago. That was actually about Google, and Google has their own department that used to be in California that would go over sensitive information, like Google searches and content and so forth. And, should this be removed? Should this not be removed? Kind of thing. And like those people, like the documentary was focused around the fact that like they had such a huge turnover of people. Like I think the average span was like 2 months or something. And people were like literally traumatized and PTSD, and Google, of course, didn't want to pay for anything. So then like it's a whole mess.
Yeah. So
now Study GRC's channel is going to be shut down in the next 24
hours.
I
apologize. PBO apologize. That's why he got his back. PBO takes responsibility for all that.
That's right. That's right.
But the physical supply chain, I told you about that book, AI Empire, and she's breaking down the supply chain.
I'm reading that one too. Is that the book you referenced earlier?
Yeah.
I thought I recognized that. Yeah. I caught that just because you had referenced that video, or you posted that video, and then led to that book.
Yeah. So I'm really, it's super interesting. They hit a lot of parts. I was like, ooh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So she's digging down deep into some of the stuff I just never even thought about. That is, like I say, I won't get too political, but that's going to be the new oligarchy. But they always was. Zuck, Bill Gates, they made all of their money, so they do what they want to do, right? So.
But they're giving back now, so don't worry about what they did in the past on how they made their millions and billions, but they're giving back to the community.
I'm gonna leave that one alone, man. I'm
right.
nice to Study GRC tonight.
We got that going. We got that going for us.
Yeah, it's an interesting landscape for sure. Oh, look at that. Rania completed the gym. Is that just your first round, or are you going back for a second round?
2 a day?
Shut up. She getting married? Or is she going to a wedding?
She's going to a wedding.
Okay, I thought she was married. Shout out to her.
I'm about to jump in the pool. It's pretty now. It's going to be raining later, but...
Man, I walked this morning. I was napping, and I heard Cam Goddard talking about hallucinations. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get out of bed.
I referenced NIST 853 last night, crickets, and then I talk about AI hallucination, and here you are.
I heard you today. I was in there.
Maybe
bat
signal.
Maybe maybe he is a hallucination right now. Oh, whoa.
I was like,
Deepfakes.
let me get on the roll out of there. I went for a walk
Yeah.
this morning trying to get pretty like Ranya. My gym workout was horrible. I had to go to take a nap. It was so bad.
Yeah, PBO's been taking a break and so forth to get his deep fake good enough.
Facts. I have to get on my AI too, man. It's just oof. I feel like I'm getting left behind.
Well, and we'll have PBO next Thursday for third-party risk management.
Looking forward to that.
Bam. I mean, he's got like 3 or 4 videos on it already, but maybe we could make it a little bit more concise and not in 2.5 hours.
Oh, I'm gonna cut it down. You said you got about 10 questions for me, so I'm excited.
Oh yeah. It will be an entire thing all about third party. Well,
I do a lot of
and one of the big reasons why is because, like I've stated, is with Study GRC, we're trying to actually build out that program. So in CISO Assistant, we added all the third parties in there, but then there's way more beyond that than just adding to a list. And that's what I'm realizing as I go through it. Then I'm like, oh wait, there's also like, what services do they provide? What is the impact, the solutions, all kinds of different stuff.
It's way more than that. Long story short, probably a couple years ago, I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I thought I was really into third party. There's a whole technical piece. Once I got there, procurement showed up, legal showed up, privacy showed up. I was like, everybody, they look at it from a really holistic, because we talked about that, Chris, when we were looking at that DPA for that one company. You start talking about the legal aspect of it. You start talking about it's just really so deep, depending on how mature you want to be at it. Like I said, I was surprised when I started being in a room with 5 lawyers, and they were really digging into privacy. It was a finance company, GLPA. They had a little GDPR. I was like, wow, I really, because I really just focus on encryption, that kind of piece of it. Like you said, what services doing, what data are we moving? That's why they were going to like I said, a whole new level with that level of sophistication. And they talk about how much do we get charged, how many seats we got. All that really flows into third-party risk assessment.
Well, I have many things to say on that. I'll try to save it for your show. A couple of pieces just to think about though is
write it down.
If they literally do not just keep track of who they have, because they should obviously know who the hell they have. They need to have a third-party inventory, just like they have an inventory of all their software.
Yep.
It's an S bomb, but we call it an I bomb, I guess. I mean, a T bomb. Hell, I don't know. Point is that if they do it right and they actually read the SOC 2 from that company, or the high trust or ISO whatever, then they can actually take that and put it into a risk matrix and say, well, this is, we might have to watch this area, that area. Blah blah blah. Or if they put it in the SLAs, right, the service level agreements, then they could actually possibly use those, kind of like we do for high trust and other things, where you have some inheritance of a sort. So if you could take that and write the contract up as such that we will do this, you will do that, like they already do, but then even more fine print, I think that would help alleviate maybe some things, and then also have a better avenue to go back for a lawsuit. I mean, I know we're too litigious here in this country, but sometimes it's needed. And so,
and you're right. And like I said, we're gonna dive in. But the long story short of that, we were talking to AWS. They said, pound sand, if you're not spending $5 million, we're not gonna have our lawyers look at it. You need to take right off the internet and just agree to what we got out there. Now, once you read it, it's all one-sided.
Yes.
Right.
Microsoft too. Yeah.
That's when you, like you said, you dig in, but that's when you roll up your sleeve and really get into risk management. And most people aren't even touching that because they're not big enough.
No,
AWS told you you're not spending $5 million. You can't touch our legal documents.
And one of the things that surprised me, and like I talked to a couple other people, is like even a medium-sized company is likely to have hundreds of third parties involved. And it could even be way more than that. Like Study GRC ourselves, we're already looking at like, I think 17, and that's running lean.
The reason why it's way more than that is, and most people don't delve into it, most of your SaaS third party, they got third parties because they're using other SaaS companies to flow into their stuff. So now you got to talk about flow downs. Well, we give you need to make sure it flows down to your subs. And who's validating that? right? So that's when you really, I call that big boy. That's when you really, I need a list of your subs. And half of them going to say, pound sand, that's none of your business. You going to take our service or not? Because most people ain't spend enough money to dig that deep.
That sounds like a 53 problem.
No, it's in the 53. Now, if you, and I think Dave, and I won't dig into it, that's why a lot of times is, are they doing SOC 2? If you're doing this, then this says you got to take care of your subs. But most people are not going to say they're doing this. And half the time they trick you. Like they say, go to the trust center. And I'm going to get out this
subs, you mean sub-processors, right?
Yes. Right. So that's the GDPR term, but yes, sub-processor. But the other part of that is, does the contract you give your subs, does it flow down to their sub-processors? And a lot of times they say, look at these trust documents. But if you look at the master service agreements, they tell you in there, we can change any of these documents we want anytime. So I'm like, well, damn, if you could change them anytime, why the hell are we reviewing it?
I really hope you got some really pretty diagrams and so forth to try to explain that to me.
Chris, you pissing me off. I wasn't gonna do diagrams. I gotta do diagrams. I'll do some. But what I don't even know if I was gonna go that deep. We gonna talk about 2 hours, man. Dave's, I mean, he's in the game, so he's really touching stuff most people don't touch. Right? I was gonna
we could push the 2 hour mark next week. I ain't gonna complain.
I was gonna do the fluff stuff like processors, sub-processors. Let's talk a little DPA. Let's talk a little security exhibits. Let's talk about SOC 2, SOC 3, ISO, as long as they got some certifications. Because those certifications says you got to review annually, so they got policies and procedures, right? Well, I think he's touching on some stuff. He's going down to the nitty gritty. Most people don't even get to that level. They don't even get close to that level.
Yeah, so here's another note. You know, if you guys are joining us next Thursday, try to get a nap in beforehand, because
well, at least it's at 7. It's not 9. At least it's not 9 Eastern when I do it.
Well, that's the point. Yeah, see, we got you until at least 11.
Well, think about that, because I was gonna do a nice, smooth, high-level fluff about 40 minutes now. Now, you know, PBO can roll the sleeves up. I'm talking in third person like I'm a football player now. PBO can go third person
4
now.
hours we'll dig in deep.
Well, wait a second. Why don't you make it into 2 different things?
It
right?
seems like a multi-part,
right?
Yeah.
I have that on my channel. I got about 6 videos on my channel. But like you said, I think because obviously he's in the game and does it for real. Like I said, most mature companies don't even get in that level. Where you talking about DPAs, you talking about blowdowns, you talking about the thing I really look for at a high level is if you get us breached. We need you to have cyber insurance. We need about $5 million back. So that's kind of how I cover it, right? So
yeah, and
shout out to
like
Space Tacos
that we went over was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, we were giving out worldwide rights to them. What was that?
They literally had worldwide, non-exclusive, like forever rights to all of your data that you put in their system.
Shout out to me. It took me about 30 minutes to find that. I've been looking at it for so long. I'm like, Chris, what we signing over, man? We give them our worldwide rights to Study GRC. We can't sign up with them. They're going to take our IP. Like Grok. They're just going to steal our IP. Like they give Cam no money. They're just going to take it. But yeah, if anybody's got anything deep they want to delve into, is it this Thursday? I need to figure it out. I just saw myself on the playlist.
Yeah, it's this next Thursday.
I'm there. But yeah, if anybody has anything specific, shout out to my man. He wants to make it a 2-parter already.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize this. I didn't look it up before, but so Atlassian, who owns Trello, is Australian and American owned.
See, I will block him immediately.
For being Australian?
Yeah.
Isn't that a like friendly country?
It is, but I don't trust them. If you're not CONUS and all our data's in the United States, we ain't messing with you. If you're not if your company's not started here, F you. We not messing with you, man.
Well, then we're screwed, because also like Canva is like one of the biggest companies out of Australia, actually. And honestly, I don't know.
Give it to Adobe. They're not as good, but they're big. Give your money to Adobe.
Oh yeah, and then get charged for canceling my plan. Yeah,
Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
That is crazy.
Nobody. I almost went too far. I was gonna say we support America, but that'd be getting getting political.
Oh God.
I couldn't help myself. PBO, put my sign back up.
Right.
I make myself laugh. Shout out to me.
That's gonna have to be the next PBO inspired T-shirt. Is gonna be,
Right.
you know, oh, we're getting political here.
Shout out to me. Yeah. But nah, well, yeah, like you said, and like I said, we're gonna pivot to something else. But yeah, third party, because third party's getting a lot of people hacked, so everybody's really trying to drill into it. I just try to make it to simplify it. I just really look for encryption at rest, encryption at transit, a SOC 2 report. If you breach us, we need some money, man. We need that cyber insurance, man.
I don't know y'all's take on it, but I'm curious. So just because you use somebody else's product, obviously doesn't mean that you have to have an agreement. You're just using it, but you can call them a third party because you're using that service. However, if you're not in an agreement with that company and you use their service, I mean, then it's on you if they get breached, or you know what I mean? If you don't have a contract covering all that. So, and just because you tell me, well, I'm using this, well, yeah, you're paying for the service, but did you sign anything, or
They're typically asking for a BPA, right? Business partner agreement, I believe.
That's usually for HIPAA, right? A BA is usually for HIPAA.
The BPA, business partner agreement, I believe. I think that's what Atlassian does do for enterprise.
It is. But I think, Dave, if you signing something, because they're going to make sure you're not coming back. Most of those are click-through agreements, so I think people are signing stuff. But once again, most click-through agreements you sign is one-sided for them. So I think people are signing stuff. But I think from, because I do federal work, right? Everybody knows PBO do big systems. But so for that, FedRAMP, and I think HIPAA says you got to review your third-party stuff annually, especially since cassettes and all the hacks. So when I'm usually speaking, I'm usually speaking from a federal perspective because that's usually the lens I live in. But
well, after Cam over here is done with his AI governance series, then he's got to take a look at the increased rate of threat actors leveraging AI. Because that's skyrocketed this year.
Right.
I was saying, he don't need to do research. It's 1,000% up. I don't think he needs to do research. It's 1,000% up. What research you doing?
Booming. Business is booming.
Yeah.
I was doing more research on the whole Iran thing and situation ongoing just to kind of stay up to date. Like, yeah, literally somebody, I don't even follow the standard news or otherwise. And somebody was like, oh, did you hear about this? I'm like, no, but yeah, when nuclear bombs are mentioned, I probably should be, informed just as a person on the planet. So I was like, maybe I'll just do a surface level search on this.
There's a great special one. Stuxnet is older than you. We've been messing with Iran since Stuxnet, man, and we started it. So I mean, for me, it's just.
There's no proof of that. There's no proof of that.
Oh, there's proof of it. Look at the special. There's proof of it. There's a ton of proof of it.
Hold on. Let's get the tinfoil hats out, PBO.
There's proof of that. Even there's documents that have been released. There's proof of that. So, shout out to us. We started it.
I mean, especially after Snowden, there's not much I wouldn't believe at this point. But the surprising number that I saw is after the incident that had occurred and so forth, there was an increase of almost immediately of 700% increase in AI threat actors coming out of those APTs and attacking critical infrastructure in particular, including small power plants, little towns and so forth, law enforcement, the FBI, all kinds of different things all over the place. A 700% increase. It's not that it's surprising. It's just the concerning part is the fact that now the AI is being leveraged for that. It's just like phishing, for an example, is so much more realistic.
Yeah.
So
it's an amplifier. It's an amplifier.
Yeah. I almost fell for one. I happened to hover. I was like, shit, I almost clicked on that. I was like, there's a couple things that gets me motivated, but it's not a lot. So, but yeah, it's like
Yeah, I have so many different. I've gotten so much phishing emails now, and there's several that are really legitimate. One of which actually came authenticated from a PayPal email, actually.
Yeah, that's what you got to be. That's what's getting a lot of people.
Yeah, it was actually authenticated, sent from a real legitimate PayPal email, but it was malicious.
Yeah, because I used to work for a big state agency, and we used to test. If we sent out Target coupons, man, our hit rate was like crazy, like 30%. Because the state don't pay people shit, and you give people 30% on Target, they were clicking on that shit like wow. I was like, oh my god. So I'm like, didn't we just tell people last week we're gonna send them something this week, and they still clicked on? I'm like, man, we toast.
Yeah.
We gotta make sure all our
That's
other
pretty bad.
Yeah, we need to make sure all our other stuff is in. I see where trust is working.
PBO's like, I gave you a heads up to improve the metrics. Come on, people.
Yeah.
But
Trying to pass this test.
Yeah, but when you pay people shit, man, that's gonna override everything, man. So
Yeah.
my 2 cents.
One, I would probably say the large majority of what I get as far as phishing emails, what I started doing is I actually store all of it into a folder, and then I'll download that stuff safely on an actual sandbox. But oh yeah, I was like, no. But primarily it's like, oh, did you authorize this transaction? Did you purchase this item? Did you oh, just like you were saying, like, here's a gift card. Like one of them looked really legitimate, and it's like, oh, fill out the survey and we'll send you a $25 Amazon gift card or something like that. But then of course when you hover over the link, it's like some really suspicious brand new domain name, and you're like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I tell you, when we knew our training was kicking, but it went too far, our CISO, I was going to interview him, mean Asian guy, but brilliant, always on people were scared of. I think he got on somebody one time. Then we couldn't get people to click on legitimate stuff we sent out to the company. Like, we're not clicking on anything.
Yeah.
It was cool though. I actually like that they would send it to Cybersecurity. Is this good? I'm like, it's good. Go ahead and click on it. But I like that. I was like, yeah, if we click on something, it's gonna be your fault. But now we can't get people to click on anything.
You're like, you actually do need to open documents that work.
Yeah. But I love that though. I love that. That's the pendulum. We were clicking on too much. Now we're not clicking on jack.
No problem now.
Yeah.
Well, and so there's this awesome guy named Bob Weiss. Let me pull this up actually. So this is his website here, and I'll drop this in chat. And so what this guy does is like he taught at a college. I think he still might. He works with the ISC Squared chapter out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is his personal website or business website or otherwise. But what he does is he actually has an email that he tells you, like, hey, send your phish emails to me, and then I'll go through and analyze it and add it to my blog, because every Friday he has a phishing emails alert where he goes through and breaks it down and shows like, oh, this is what it's trying to do and so forth too. It's actually really neat. Yeah. Like this is just one. I don't even know what year this was from, but he's been doing this for years. It's actually a really cool resource. Not only does he have tons of information on his blog, but then also he's actively doing this every Friday. So kind of neat.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like Amazon, together we can fight scammers. This is not a phish. So I got an email from Amazon recently and thought I would share it with my readers. Lots of good advice. Amazon took down more than 20,000 phishing websites and more than 10,000 phone numbers that were used in part of impersonation scams.
When I used to work for the Study as a consultant, I thought that was joking. They showed me the back end. They would get 1 billion phishes a month because we have 40,000 employees. They said they would get about a billion emails just coming through different agencies, now, like 10,000 might be the same email trying to phish 10,000 different state agency employees, but he said they would get about 1 billion emails a month. I was like, you playing? He showed me the back end of that. I'm like, that is crazy, man.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, imagine imagine the SOC center for that. If you're getting 1 billion emails alone, imagine how many alerts and.
No, but he said 70% of them were crappy. You can kind of pick them up, like anything. He said, "Oh, these are the script kiddies. These are the nation states. There's a lot better." He goes, "But about 5% of these are good. So,
Well, and that was pre-AI too.
no, that's true. That's what I'm saying. So yeah. So, because a lot of times I forgot. I don't want to say what product they were using that time, but I got different products that are better. They were using a couple of different products and running them through a couple of different filters to try to figure it out. They said what wasn't enough, so they run them with different products and stuff. So I was amazed about that.
Just in case. Yeah, and then we're a few minutes past the hour already, so we'll probably start bringing it to an end here. Final last words, PBO?
No, come check me out Thursday. I guess Chris wants me to do graphics now. So come check us out. I always enjoy the panel. If you need me, I'll probably get back in Discord tomorrow. I took about a couple weeks off. PBO was tired mentally, so he kind of checked out. I need Chris to go beg Dr. Ozier to let me finish my training, so that's what I got going on.
What are you streaming on Tuesday?
I haven't probably some AWS stuff late night. I was going to do AWS with some CMC. Somebody was trying to reach out to give me an interview for a CMMC job, which is not really my bailiwick. Because we talked about that the new version of CMMC came out, so I was trying to get up to speed with that. So that's probably what I do Tuesday.
Bam. What about you, David? Final last words? Ready for the weekend? I think you're already on the weekend.
Yes, I am. Enjoy the 4th if that's your thing, or just enjoy your Friday and your weekend, and that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to pick back up studying, and got to take my exam on the 19th, and I can't say I'm really looking forward this CISA.
Oh, good luck on that. That's on it's in my pipeline. I'm doing my AWS. Good luck with that, man.
Yeah, it's hard to focus on much of anything else, but I like to get on these and talk to y'all and just get a different perspective and not have to hit the. I'm just tired. I get tired of studying when you look at it so long. Like, oh. So, anyways, but y'all enjoy the weekend and have a great one.
Bam. What about you, Cam? You're not going to light anything on fire, are you?
No, lighting things on fire, I don't think. But I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'm looking forward to part 104 for PBO's talk. And
104.
It just keeps expanding now. It's like,
that's your fault, man.
No, I appreciate this
coming out.
Right. I appreciate this community. I just want to say that, put that out there. I hope all of you have some time to relax and do things you enjoy this weekend, and kind of gear up for hitting the next week. So
sounds like a plan. Yeah. Thank you to everybody who hopped in here. We'll also be hosting another one of the Friday AMA bonus tomorrow at 11 a.m. just for those that are not able to join during the holiday itself. We'll do it like maybe a recap of what we talked about today, and then whatever other topics come up as well. Definitely take advantage of that coffee with the Mafia if you guys are interested, and check out some of the other resources we have on our website too. And of course, the Discord server is the #1 place to go outside of the live streams themselves. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of the 4th of July and have a great weekend. GRC Mafia.